friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. You might have noticed recently that we started doing a morning show. We've got two different versions of the Fort Worth Roots now. First and foremost, this is the long, full episodes that we do weekly. So we're now putting out 5 episodes, allegedly. We're going to do these longer episodes where you get to hear the full story of people that we have on the show, like we have been doing for the past 5 years, but we would love for you guys to check out the morning show. It launches at 8 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and right now we are filming at the new Hoppin' right here in Fort Worth. It is a self-pour beer station with 58 taps on the wall. It's a really cool spot, and we want you to check it out. It's next to Doc's Records, and since I'm talking about it, tomorrow night, Wednesday, and every Wednesday going forward, we've got Cockpit Comedy. It's a stand-up comedy show with an open mic after that, and then we're going to have Mama Lou's tamales on site and a bunch of other fun stuff. So Wednesday nights, put that on your calendar and come see me. We used to do a lot of public engagements, and right now what we're focusing on is growing the Fort Worth Roots podcast so that we can be more helpful to the Fort Worth community. But we do have one engagement on our schedule every week, and it happens Wednesdays at Hoppin' here in Fort Worth, Texas. Stay tuned to the very end of the episode. We've got a lot of updates to tell you about what's going on. I've got some really exciting announcements. We'll save that till the end of the show along with all of the information about our sponsors, but you can get all of our sponsors' information, the ones that make it possible for us to continue doing the Fort Worth Roots, by going to our website. And I want you to use this thing like Angie's List or any of those other lists, only this one works and it's all local. And we vet these businesses. You can go to fortworthroots.com, click on the Trusted Sponsors tab. We always highlight one sponsor right up at the front. I'd like to tell you about the Davis team. You need information on how to build wealth through real estate. Maybe you're getting ready to buy or sell in North Texas. Look no further than our friends at the Davis team. They've already sold 2 homes for us at the Fort Worth Roots and helped us find and close on our most recent home purchase. We wouldn't accept anybody else if they had offered to be a sponsor for our realtor option on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, because in the back of our minds, we would have always known that the best was still out there. No commitment necessary. If you have any questions related to property, visit them online, yourdavesteam.com, or give them a call at 817-755-0504. Today's episode was recorded at the Fort Worth Songwriter Foundation inaugural celebration. It was a 4-day extravaganza where Keegan McEnroe and a whole team of homies put on I don't even know how many musicians. There was a lot. It was a huge weekend full of activities, and we were honored to be there. Our last episode in the lineup with a full episode was also out there. Today we've got Teena May and 2 additional volunteers that I'll introduce to you before we play that segment. Teena May didn't get much time on the show because she was in between things and we had to wrap the show up. So we get to introduce you to an incredible artist out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and then we'll have a little bit more on there for you with these 2 volunteers from Southside Preservation Hall where this all went down. And then at the very end, of course, we've got our announcements, some sponsorship information, and then I also just want to catch up with you. I'm going to tell you some things that have been going on here at the Fort Worth Roots podcast that I hope you'll find interesting, but we definitely want to make sure you know what's going on with us. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for being here. That's enough talking out of me. Please give it up for Teena May, and let's start the show. Teena, what is your last name? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. My last name is May, like the month of May.
Yes. Okay. And I'm getting, we're still on the PA. Hold on. Is there a lot of feedback if I do this? Does that sound okay? All right, we'll just roll like that. Okay, we're learning on the fly here.
Love it.
It's a learning experience. Now, what's going on in the next room here in the next 5 minutes?
It is The Legend. The Legend is playing.
Okay.
I'm like, I did not memorize the program.
That's okay. But they're doing a dedication ceremony, and there's somebody is playing in there in big name.
Big name.
And we both forgot, but that's okay.
We both forgot. I've been up since 3 a.m. I got in a fight at 5:33 a.m.
Where did you fly in from?
New Orleans.
Ooh, y'all about to get hit too. Is that your home?
It's gonna miss us. It's gonna be tropical storm.
I think it's gonna be a tropical
wind shear.
storm.
It's called wind shear. It's called tropical storm.
It should be
realness.
Fine. It should be fine. Y'all know about hurricanes though. To us inlanders, it looks like, oh no.
No, I know. No, this is
no.
It's curving to the left, kind of. I don't know.
Who'd you fly with?
I flew here. What American? That's
Okay.
I got all the points.
Listen, so we just got back from North Carolina. We were actually going up to Asheville. They were worried about that hurricane, or they should have been. We didn't actually get to go to Asheville. We ended up in Winston-Salem.
Aha.
You ever been there?
Nah.
It's a weird little community. I'm pretty sure there's.
But I'm into it.
Half the people there are witches.
Oh, at least.
It's very
because witch recognize witch.
Right. Have you seen the what's that new Marvel series? We've been watching it.
Oh, she does not. She
You know what I'm
knows
talking about.
Right, and I wish I had the time, but I work full time and I music full time. When am
Okay.
I watching that?
That's
I
right.
would love to watch it. Let's be real. But
Netflix and chill. That's our guilty pleasure.
and that's as it should be for yes. If I wasn't raising a child called my music, then I would be on the couch with someone. But I don't have time for someone even. Anyway, that's another
Speaking
time.
of time and music, we're pressed on time, and
Let's
we
do
need
it.
to talk about your music.
Oh,
So
yay.
tell us a little bit about you and your newest album.
Yeah.
Where you come from. What's your music all
all
about?
that thing. So
Yes.
I grew up in Winchester, Virginia. I live in New Orleans now. There's a long backstory. You can hit me up later for the deep story. But I said no to music after childhood. I was raised classical piano, classical flute, and I thought, oh, that's cute. I'm going to go to college and be a biz nasty woman.
Yeah.
Well, I went, did LA, did New York, made coin, and the pandemic made me realize, I looked in the mirror and I realized I didn't know who was looking back, and it really shook me to my core.
Yeah.
So I did some exploration. I went surfing, camping on a beach in Rockaways for months, and then realized the world wasn't going to end.
You turned yourself into a hippie.
Oh man, she always is there. I have the hippie suppressive gene. Anyway, all I have to say is I visited a friend right after the first round of shots came through in New Orleans. I visited for the first time, and I fell in love with it 4 days in, the city. 4 months later, September 2021, 3 years ago, I moved to New Orleans, and I still wasn't doing music. I was just saving my soul.
Yeah.
And then spring 2022, I was like, well, I'm going to go to this little open mic, just scratch an itch. I know no one's going to be there. It was a poorly marketed event.
Yeah.
And I was the only, as predicted, I was the only songwriter there who was not on the songwriter, round bill.
And killed it.
Well, people asked me to open for their bands after, and I was like, oh, I don't really do this. I just sort of soothe my soul. And that was May of 2021. By September 2021, the Ace Hotel was asking me to play in their cafe. So I was like,
damn.
oh, so I must have something.
Yeah. Seriously.
There must be some validity to this. So I turned over my soul to the beautiful arts of music, and I'm not looking back.
Well, I get it. You got the energy that everybody wants to be around. Your voice is beautiful. And I've been stuck in this little corner. Keegan trapped me. He trapped me.
Keegan, why'd you trap
So I didn't get to
him?
see any of the shows, but I did get to come around the corner and just see what was going on in there. It was absolutely amazing. So when are you playing next in Fort Worth?
Well, the Keegan has me at the Cicada just for a little drop-in, a little 1-2, whatever's appropriate to the vibe.
For tonight.
He has me popping in there
For tonight.
at the Cicada.
How about after that? What you got anything else planned in Fort Worth?
I don't have anything planned in Fort Worth.
You're
but
gonna make me drive to
listen, I'm not gonna
Nolans?
make you do anything. You have to listen to your spirit guides.
I'm coming to Nolans.
Okay.
You know what? My family is from New Orleans, and I've never been there.
Well, now that we're friends, bring you and yours down.
We're on our way. I'm packing a bag right now.
Yay! And the EP coming out 2025, spring, hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully in front of French Quarter Fest, or if I get Jazz Fest. Oh my God, Jazz! I can't even breathe if I think about that. But yeah, single coming out maybe January. I'll be playing in Florida, and then maybe an EP by spring 2025.
Okay. Well, if we have to come down to New Orleans to see you, we will. We'll do it.
Or Florida in January 17th.
Now that's a drive.
Yeah, from Texas. I'm doing the whole Gulf circuit right now.
But yes, American. That's the way to go.
Oh yeah, I mean, I mean, they give me the points are pointing.
We're getting the lights. Okay,
right.
Teena, we got to go. Thank you so much. It was great to hear you for the 30 seconds I got to listen. And I'm looking forward to your next your next
Thank
release.
you.
And where can people find your content?
Happy Black Songstress. She's happy, she's black, and she's a songstress on Instagram. There's links in the bio for all the deets.
And it'll be in the show notes for this episode. Thank you again. All right, we're out. Teena May, everybody. Teena, thank you so much for being on our show for just that quick little minute that we were able to get out of you. But I'd love to go down to New Orleans and just see what she's got going on down there. Maybe catch a show with Teena. Next up, a volunteer for the Southside Preservation Hall. This is Karen Mason, and she was nice enough to tell us a little bit of history about Southside Preservation Hall and what they do to keep the place running. So without further ado, let's give it up for our friend Karen Mason. Welcome to the party.
Well, thank you.
This is the Fort Worth Roots podcast. You ever heard of it?
I have not yet.
Well, tell our friends your full name and your position here at Southside Preservation Hall, please.
Well, my name's Karen Mason, and I do a lot of different things here, volunteer-wise, and whatever.
Okay, very good. Is there an area at the Preservation Hall that you specifically head up?
Well, I am the partner of the director, Jeff Gibbons,
Okay.
and so I pretty much see the whole thing, everything that happens from fixing toilets to doing sound to all the things of the daily happenings of the hall and the events, and just, kind of all-encompassing.
Excellent. Whatever, as mission dictates.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I see you got some notes in front of you. What are we talking about today?
Well, I just kind of, one of the things I do is I get up and introduce acts as they're getting ready to play, and I tell people about the hall and what we do and the different kinds of events that we host and what we could use and need from the public as a 501c3 to make it and make all these wonderful things happen.
And what are y'all looking for right now? What's the greatest need for the Preservation Hall?
Well, our greatest need is to be able to fix this building that's over 100 years old. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we always need volunteers and, just money to keep things going. This place runs on volunteers. Mm-hmm. We couldn't do it without our volunteers. We do have a 2 or 3 paid employees, just to keep the things running. But the main big thing is this is an old building, and it's partially restored, but the roof needs help, and, various things need help. So we need some help there. We have some grant writing that's been going on, and we've gotten some grants, and it's just, as a 501c3, you just try to keep things going on.
Yeah.
So we need the building fixed first. We need volunteers, and that's just what makes it happen every day.
I have been in the WOW room. I have seen behind the curtain, and the roof really does need to be repaired, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the
have
biggie.
y'all made any progress on that? Are y'all squirreling away money so that you can get that taken care of? Or is it just so astronomical that y'all haven't been able to put anything back for the roof repair?
Well, it's basically been treading water, literally.
Right, yeah.
Jeff has done a lot of roof repair on his own. We did have a guy come in and spot repairs here and there, just kind of basically damage control.
When did that happen?
A year or so. Well, it's ongoing, It's happened from the time I've been involved with the hall for several years, and it's ongoing.
Yeah.
So, but we keep it going on here. We just need a few people to come in and step in and really say, okay, this place really serves the community. Mm-hmm. We do all kinds of events, like we have a big band. It's been going on for 25 years, the first Friday of every month. And it's an 18-piece swing band.
Wow.
And swing dancers, and it is really something. These guys are fabulous musicians. and that's real fun. And then we have Weird Wednesdays once a month, and that's alternative weird movies. They don't disclose what it is, but when you get here, there's all kinds of vendors, and it's always fun, and it's very well attended. And we have festivals like the Songwriter Festival. We have the Roots Festival. We have Towns Van Zandt festivals, the K&ON Blues Festival. So we're getting a lot of interest in the place. It's done weddings for years and years and events for years, but we're expanding, and it's really beautiful thing these days. And you can get on our website at southsidepreservationhall.com and see all the events that are happening. We even have professional wrestling.
I am dying to come catch one of those shows. My schedule just has not allowed me to do it yet, but I can't wait to come see one of those.
It's really a hoot, I must say. It's wasn't on my top of my list of interests,
Right.
But when I showed up one night, it was like, wow, these guys are amazing athletes.
And I've seen a lot of the videos that they've done here, and much like yourself, I have no interest in quote-unquote pro wrestling. But when I saw how serious they are about this, and it's an absolute production,
Really?
and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Excuse me. We do have a lot of great things going on. So the best thing I can say that people could do to help us, of course, first is just money to keep this thing going on. And volunteers is very important. We have a real strong core group of volunteers, but we're also having a lot of events. So we try to have people on hand to, be available to, okay, we need more ice, we need this, we need that, whatever it is people need. So just being able to do those things is, volunteers and money is what keeps a 501c3 on the road.
Right.
Being able to host things like the Songwriter Festival.
And folks can find you through that website, and everything, all the information they need is right there at southsidepreservation.com.
Exactly. You can get on there and see what you can do to help, and just donate. You don't have to give the huge amount of money it takes to fix the roof. You can
Although if you wanted to, if you've got that kind of budget.
That would be great. But until then, we are just happy to accept anything, that keeps the lights on. Our electric bill every month has a base rate that just astounds me. The way they charge for things, and just the everyday expenses that goes on here, people, don't realize. So we just would love to have people come down and see what we do.
Yeah.
And it's just growing and growing every year.
You should post that on the door. Like every door, outside door, you should post the electric bill, like how much it was last month.
Right.
Just so people have an understanding of it, because I'm sure it's astronomical.
It is. It's crazy between, keeping this old equipment going on, but it's worth it. There's a lot of history here. This used to be the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
And Jeff is much better able to tell you the history of this place than I am.
Well, we're going to get into that, and I'm going to go ahead and cut our interview here. But thank you so much for what you do, and this place would not be able to survive if it wasn't for amazing people like yourself. So thank you, and I want you to know that Fort Worth Roots, that's our brand. We're here to support you guys any way we can, and I'm blanking on the name. Sarah Nesbitt. Sarah Nesbitt is really good about tagging us whenever you guys have an event. But if you ever think of something that you want to be tagged so that we can see it and share it with our friends, just bring up the name Fort Worth Roots whenever you guys start discussing events, and hopefully somebody will tag us whenever they start making posts about it. We're happy to share it.
Well, thank you so much.
Very
we
welcome.
really appreciate you helping get us out there to people. And let me see if I have forgotten anything. I think I pretty much covered it. So I just really appreciate you getting me up here to talk about it. And
Yeah.
it's kind of a surprise, so I hope I came
You
across.
did great. You did great.
Well, thank you.
All right, Fort Worth Roots, thank y'all so much for listening. We're going to get our next guest in here, so stay tuned for that. And all the show notes, all the information that we covered as far as website, and I'll include the Instagram page and all that in the show notes. So keep an eye open for that.
One more time, it's southsidepreservation.com, and all donations are tax deductible.
You might need those tax deductions, folks. We are getting towards the end of the year. All right. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right, and to close things out, we got our friend Jeff Gibbons, another volunteer, and he has been with the Southside Preservation Hall the longest and was part of the takeover for the organization that now manages Southside Preservation Hall. Without further ado. All right, Jeff, what's your last name, sir?
It is Gibbons.
Gibbons.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbons, for being here on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Southside Preservation Hall. You got time for that?
I don't know if I have time or you have time to talk about the entire history,
right,
but
yeah.
we can do a little summary.
Let's start
of
at the beginning. It goes all the way back to what, 1904?
Actually, 1909.
Oh, I was close.
Well, you were very close. That's when the first part of the building. I'm going to move this out a little bit. So I'm popping my peas. That's when the first part of the building, what we call the sanctuary, was built. It was finished in 1909, and it was the Central Methodist Church. And so they had that and a couple of other parts of the building at that time. And then in the 1920s, they built a lot of other parts, including the part that we're in right now.
Okay.
So this was built in probably 1922, and it's a big deal. There are, according to TAD, because we've never measured it, there's over 50,000 square feet.
Is that the usable portion, or is that the stuff that's blocked off? Because there's some wings here that probably just have ghosts in it.
Yeah. I've been looking for ghosts ever since I've been here, which is since 95. And I have not seen any. I was really, really looking forward to it.
I've got a Southside Preservation ghost story. You want to hear it real quick?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I was here one day all by myself. I can't remember. I think. I'm not telling on anybody here, but I think maybe one of the doors wasn't shut all the way. Mm-hmm. But I was supposed to be here. So I thought, well, I'm a little early, but I'll just walk in. So I did. And I was waiting just to see who would pop by. And I was standing just outside of this room in the hallway, probably messing around on my phone or something. And the toilet flushed in the women's bathroom right here, right across from me.
Oh.
So somebody showed up a little bit after that. And I said, hey, I want to ask you a question. Because it's an old building, right? Are there automatic flushers in the women's bathroom? And whoever I was talking to said, no. Why are you asking me that? I was like, you got ghosts.
Well, I hate to bring that story down, but
oh no,
actually there are automatic flushers in the women's bathroom.
Okay.
And so one of them probably just decided, yeah, I've been sitting here long enough. I think it's time to flush.
Leave it to Jeff to ruin a perfectly good ghost story. I'm going to keep telling it my way.
So sorry. Yeah, I like your way better, really.
Well, that has been a ghost story I've been telling for months.
Well, that's good. Yeah, keep telling it. Just don't worry about that automatic flusher thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But so anyway, the most recent part of the building is what we call the Rose Chapel, which was initially called the Nora. I can't
That's
remember.
okay.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
all
her last name. But it was built in, it's very modern. It was built in like 1955.
It's a great looking room.
Yeah, it's really nice now. And in the 70s, this area started to deteriorate. We could go into, what happened, during World War II. A lot of these houses that were single-family houses were turned into multi-family houses because they needed people to work at the bomber plant. Out at what is now, I guess it's now Lockheed
over there next to Carswell.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Lockheed Martin.
So back then it was General Dynamics, and so they needed housing for these people. They needed a lot of people, so they would take a single-family house in this neighborhood and turn it into a house with 4 or 5 apartments.
I did not know that.
Tiny little apartments.
Yeah.
But they were well built, because there was one house right across the street from us that was, after the war, of course, we don't need bombers anymore, so everybody goes back to wherever they came from, and we have all these tiny little apartments. And so they became the cheapest apartments in town. And
that probably destroyed the community, didn't it?
It really had a very bad effect on the community. But the what saved the community was the fact that they got a historical and cultural designation, because most of the houses were still intact, even though they had been converted into multifamily. But you couldn't tear a house down after that. You could not just come in and bulldoze the house and build something big. So that really saved the neighborhood, and people began coming in and taking these houses and turning them back into single-family houses.
Okay.
And that's now the neighborhood is really it's a haven for hipsters.
Yeah. I know a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and me too. So it's saved the neighborhood, but also during that period of time, the neighborhood was kind of deteriorating, with people crammed into, a 4 or 5 apartment house that should have been a single family house. So, and the congregation here was getting older, so they wanted to move out to the suburbs, and so they did. They moved out, and they sold this to the Panther Boys Club, which I'm sure you have heard of.
Just because I've heard this story several times.
Oh.
But you're telling it your way, and it's great.
Yeah.
That was in the 70s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they sold it to the Panther Boys Club, and the Panther Boys Club was a big deal. They did a lot of stuff. They had, the wood shop down in the basement. They had, their big deal was boxing. It was very big, back 60s, 70s.
Now, the direction you're pointing towards is the area that I know to be closed off on this first level. That's the basement.
Well,
it leads down to the basement?
There's the basement, and then it also leads up to the sanctuary, which is where they had their boxing ring. They had a full-size...
In the WOW room?
Not in the... Well, I don't know if you're talking about the disco room.
Not the disco room, the WOW room, the big auditorium.
Oh, yeah. That's where the boxing ring was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a full-size boxing ring. And there were lots of people that boxed there, back in the 70s, and of course they're older now. It's so funny, we have community service people that work here that I've had a couple of them say, yeah, I used to come here and box, and with the Panther Boys Club, and said, if it wasn't for that, I don't know where I'd be now.
That's crazy. Yeah, that it had that much of an impact. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a big deal. It was a going concern. And I don't know really how it switched over. It morphed from the Panther Boys Club to the United Way Boys and Girls Club of America. They became the owners.
Okay.
And they utilized this building until the mid-'90s. They built a new building right across the parking lot from us. That's the Boys and Girls Club of America.
And it kind of looks like this building, right? I mean, the structure
Well,
of it.
no. The one they built is a new. It was new
Because
in the 90s.
there is one that looks like it was modeled after this one, or maybe built.
Well, there was a church over
Okay,
there.
okay.
Well, it was a church, just like this was
Yeah.
a church, but it is no longer. And they were saying, they were going to tear this building down.
Right. Yeah.
And so several of us were doing work in the neighborhood, redoing houses, and we heard about that and said, well, wait a minute, so we came and looked at it, and it's like, it's run down for sure, but it doesn't need to be torn down. This is the oldest and the largest building in the Fairmount neighborhood. Don't tear it down. And so we were badgering them, and while they were actually starting to take it apart.
Now, was this in the late 90s?
This is 95.
Okay.
And so finally they said, well, if you can find a nonprofit that will take this building, we'll give it to them. And so we tried. We contacted churches and other groups, and nobody, it's like, we want this part, but we don't want that part.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, you got to take the whole thing.
It's all or nothing, baby.
And so we did the smart thing, which was form our own nonprofit and say, okay, we're a nonprofit now, so we'll take the building.
That's awesome.
And they were kind of like, well, okay. But, the caveat there was we had to operate the building for 25 years before we actually got title to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were so dumb, we didn't realize that was practically an impossibility. with
it sounds like a great deal is what it sounds like.
Well, we had a lot of energy back then. And so, that story, we actually succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the 25-year period, it's like, okay, bang, here you go. Here's the title to the building. And we've gone through some, as an organization, the Southside Preservation Association. We've gone through our ups and downs as far as activity and just sometimes it was the little rascals,
Yeah.
We were always under the radar. Nobody wanted this building and back then. And we were working just with the community service, which I cannot say enough good about the people that do community service. They built everything that you see that we actually can use.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they are wonderful. I say, y'all are just like us, except you got caught. And then it's like, and we'd be standing around looking at something saying, okay, now should we do this or do that or here? And we'd have 15 guys standing behind us with their arms folded. And finally somebody would say, what are you guys trying to do? I'd say, well, we're just trying to put this thing over there or make that. He said, you don't do that. You do this. And we're like, oh, really? And he said, yeah, you need one of these things. And I said, well, we don't have that. He said, oh, I have one on my truck. I'll go get it. And so, once they realized that we're just trying to fix the building,
Mm-hmm.
then they would get into the project.
Nice.
And, it's I just can't say enough good about the help that we've gotten from community service. And the latest iteration, we kind of redid our board a few years ago, right before COVID, unfortunately, which nearly killed us because what we do here is gatherings of people, and we couldn't do that.
Right.
So,
Although you had enough square footage, you probably could have given everybody 6 feet in every direction, right?
well, actually, it's pretty funny because we did do some shows in the ballroom where it's just like one person per table, okay? You know, it's like, hey, here the other guy's way over there. All right, okay. But that was, and so we did do some things like that because we were the only place in town that had enough room to do it.
Yeah.
So that literally was a part of what kept us going during that time.
Yeah.
But it was difficult. But now, with Matthew Williams, booking all kinds of things, our visibility has increased so much. Now, we've lived all these years just on weddings, pretty much.
Yeah.
Weddings, parties, that sort of thing, to pay the bills.
Well, now you got people fighting in the building again.
That's right, we do. It's hilarious.
And a ton of other activities.
Yeah, we do have wrestling, which have you seen any of the wrestling?
I haven't. I was just talking to Karen about it. I want to see one of those shows so bad, and my schedule just hasn't allowed for it. But I swear up and down I'm coming to the next one.
Yeah, well, it was hilarious. I think one of the very first wrestling shows that we had in the ballroom that has our big band shows, that play the 30s and 40s music to the swing dancers. So we're in the ballroom, and they have the whole thing. They've got the ring. They have
It's a full production.
It is a big production.
And if anybody wants to see that, it's Matt War Pro. It's just like I said it, Matt War Pro on Instagram, and it's amazing. And I've talked to the guys that put that show on, and they're great guys. They are all about supporting the community and the wrestling underground, and they really love this place as a location for it too. So really looking forward to working with those guys. I'd like to set something like this up for their next show.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
They are really good guys. They take care. We love stuff that's self-contained.
Right, and repetitive, right?
Yeah,
once a month.
Somebody that can come in and pull the event off we work with volunteers. I mean, I'm a volunteer. I've been here since 1995. Some of the community service guys, would be doing something, and they'd say, "Oh, how many hours do you have?" And I'd say, "Oh, I'm in for life." It's like, "Oh, what'd you do?" But and I thought I was kidding.
You thought you were kidding, yeah.
But
here you are.
I think I wasn't. But we do count on volunteers, and it's fun, really. We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't fun.
Right.
We've saved the building. The idea in the first was to save the building. We've saved the building.
Yeah.
Now we could sell the building to somebody to do condos.
Don't do that.
We don't want.
On behalf of everybody, don't do that.
Yeah, we don't. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We want to keep this because it is a nonprofit. Nobody's going to make any money out of it,
right,
no matter what. So it's like, well, we want to have some say in the direction of the use of the building for the future, and so we want to keep arts activities here. Music. We had Hip Pocket Theater here for the entire month of August. There's just. The Songwriter Festival is fantastic, and that's the sort of thing that we're doing. We're doing that. We want to have. Community-oriented businesses to be able to utilize the rest of the building for offices, workshops, whatever, whenever we can get the rest of the building finished, when we can get it fixed.
I wonder if an organization that supports all those things would also like to move in, maybe take over the areas of the building that are unusable right now, fix them up, and then help pay for the roof, and then you'd have a constant revenue stream through another organization, and you wouldn't lose any space, and they'd actually revitalize part of the building. Is that something that's possible with the backside of the building?
I think it's quite possible to do that.
Because I hear Art Fort Worth is looking for a new building.
Well, we have, we've got a lot of space, but there are,
It would take some money to fix that up.
it's going to take a lot of money to fix it up. Although, the way the building is built, you don't have to you don't have to do the entire thing. You can do like we did here. You can say, okay, I'm going to take this part, and I'm going to fix this part.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we are definitely interested in partnering with other organizations to get this.
Start putting our feelers out there, folks. Let's come up with some ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's, we are open for just about anything.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean,
as long as it fits the scope of the mission.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Save the
it.
building, support the community.
Yeah, I mean, we have saved the building.
Yeah.
The building is saved. It's not going to be torn down.
Yeah.
But now we want to get the best use for the community that we can get out of it. And so that's, unfortunately, the ones we would like to partner with, they're like us, they don't have much money either.
Right. Yep.
So
well, Fort Worth Roots is always here to support you. I know that Sarah Nesbitt is really good about tagging us when she's making posts so that we can share it with our audience. But anytime you guys want us engaged with any kind of activities y'all have going on here at Southside Preservation Hall, we're here for it. I'm going to couple this episode with Karen's, and all the information about your website, your Instagram, and how people can support you will be in the show notes for this episode. Is there anything else you want to tell people before we get out of here, Jeff?
Well, I don't know. Just check our website, because we have wonderful things just on a weekly, if not daily basis. That are going on here.
And I would tell people, if you have an event and you need a large area with a roof over it, air conditioned, this is the place for it.
Yeah,
right here in Fort Worth.
And of course, the chapel has saved us. That's what allowed us to survive this long.
It's very elegant.
So weddings in there has really been the bread and butter. These things are way more fun.
Yeah.
But but the weddings are people love the weddings here, and so we need more of that going on.
Yeah.
And actually pretty much everything we do here is pretty affordable from compared to other venues, weddings included. So that's where we're at. We're trying to provide the service, and we're trying to stay alive, and we're trying to find someone to partner with in order to somebody with energy that we used to have back in 1995. I look at the things that we did, and I think about the weekends that we spent up here working while we were still working.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to turn this thing over.
Yeah.
We want to be able to turn this over, get some younger people in here that have the energy.
Yeah.
That are willing to put it out and take over this place.
Well, we'll sure start helping you look for people.
Yeah, okay.
Jeff, thank you so much,
Oh,
brother.
you
I
bet,
appreciate
Andrew.
it sincerely. And you guys keep up the hard work as best you can. And we'll try to get you some volunteers in here. But we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do for the community. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew. I appreciate that.
And we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah.
All right, Fort Worth
Sure.
Roots. We'll talk to you here in a little bit. All right. Thank you to Southside Preservation Hall for letting us take some time away from you. Thank you again to Keegan McEnroe for having us out there for the inaugural Fort Worth Songwriter Foundation Day. It really was a powerful weekend full of everything local, community-driven music. It was great, and there's a lot more details that I should be covering, but hopefully we got a little bit out of that content in that first episode we did with Keegan McEnroe. It's going to be the episode right below this. So if you'd like to know more about Fort Worth Songwriter Foundation, I would direct you to that episode. But it was great, man. We had a cool little corner picked out on the side. We were piped directly into the PA system for that side of the hall. And it was an honor. We love doing stuff like that. If you've got a 501c3, if you're putting on a big event and you'd like to have Fort Worth Roots out there to kind of accommodate, to just kind of support what you got going on, let us know. Our email is media@fortworthroots.com. And, of course, you can always call us 817-988-1292. Thank you to our friends today for giving us a little bit of time and doing that episode with us. Let's get into these sponsors real quick, and y'all stay tuned. I've got some stuff I want to talk to you about here at the end. Hoppin' Fort Worth, one of our newest sponsors. Check out our newer sponsor over there at Doc's Records, right next to it anyway, 2616 Weisenberger Street. It actually says 2608 on the building, but I think their physical address is like how you get there is 2616 Weisenberger. Anyways, next to Doc's Records, you'll find it, no problem. No more waiting for a bartender. Simply walk up to the wall of taps and scan your armband and enjoy. This place charges you by the ounce. A great place to unwind for your next big event. Find them on Instagram at Hoppin' Fort Worth. Excuse me, it's Hoppin' FWTX. Monday through Thursday, of course, we do our morning show out there. You can find it first at fortworthroots.com. We record our morning show from 7 a.m. to 7:20. We try to make it a 20-minute episode on location there at Hoppin'. If you have a Fort Worth event coming up that week, this week, next week, whatever, call us during the recording if you want to be live on the show. Or you can just call and leave a voicemail, 817-988-1292, and we will play that voicemail on the show. That's the easiest way to do it. But the way we'd like you to do it, because it sounds so much better, if you'll take a recording of you talking about your voice. Everybody's got a recorder app on their phone, just kind of comes standard. You can take that recording and email it to us, and it sounds great that way. That's media@fortworthroots.com. And thank you to Michael and Holly for bringing us into the Hoppin' family. That really has been a good connection, and we love working out there. The Davis team. Need information on how to build wealth through real estate? Give them a call, 817-755-0504. And thank you to Jordan and your team. We were able to feed 200 families for Thanksgiving. I was invited out to take some video and pack some bags, and then I loaded up my little Toyota Camry with 13 bags of food and 13 turkeys. And for any of you that were ever wondering, I wonder how many bags of food and how many turkeys fit into a Toyota Camry. The number's 13. That is it. That is maximum. If you don't put anything in the trunk, if you're loading up the cab of the car, it is 13. So anyway, we got to go out to the high school, give those meals to, what was the gentleman's name? Miguel. Out there, and I don't remember his function, but really nice guy, was super appreciative, and they loaded up a cart and took the groceries into the school, and that was a done deal. But 200 families total, and it was just great being a part of that, and I love knowing that our sponsors not only support the Fort Worth Roots podcast, the brand, and make it possible for us to provide an additional stage to musicians around the city of Fort Worth, but they also take care of the community in other ways. And so, love that. Love being a part of that. Amplify 817, craving quality music made right here in Fort Worth. Visit amplify817.org to browse and stream a growing collection of commercial-free local music wherever you are. Do your ears a favor and discover your new favorite local group today on amplify817.org. Amplify 817 is a service of the Fort Worth Library, sponsored in part by community donors to the Fort Worth Public Library Foundation, which pays local artists up front to feature their music. Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf. Find them on Facebook as Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf. You can also email them galaxywildernessdg@gmail.com. Their phone number is 682-228-0399. And it is dedicated to promoting disc golf to the masses for its health benefits through outdoor therapy, exercise, and camaraderie. The Body Scrubbery on Instagram as The Body Scrubbery, online as thebodyscrubbery.com. Their phone number is 925-808-8222. Great gift idea for your upcoming seasonal gift needs. A boutique and unique spa experience. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Luxury foot spa, full body scrubs, infrared heat wraps, massage, bubble tub, mud wraps, facials, couples packages, and small group parties. Go online and find the Book Now tab. And we are doing giveaways on the morning show. If you like free stuff, give us a listen on our Fort Worth Roots morning show. It's Monday through Thursday. We film it out there at Hoppin'. I know I've said that a few times. But what we do is on Thursdays, we put up an Instagram post, a video of me standing in front of the spinny thing, I call it. And if you comment on that, we add a ticket to the spinny thing. And then on Mondays, Monday morning, we have our guest. Usually we have a guest co-host. We have them draw a name. And whatever the name is on the ticket, you just won. And lately, we've had spa packages from the Body Scrubbery. So, bro, what are you waiting on? I believe it's transferable, too. I don't think Michelle would mind if you won and then incorporated that into a gift card to give to somebody. So even if you're not into relaxation and self-care, you could probably use that as a gift for somebody else. Flurry Fitness on Instagram as at Flurry Fitness Fort Worth, located at 643 Sherry Lane, Fort Worth, Texas, just in front of the military base next to Target and directly behind Waffle House. All right. Boulevard Brew, great coffee and a rad little space right off River Oaks Boulevard. A cozy little bar scene in the back with a new home for local music. Give these guys a try next time you're in need of coffee or a great place to chill. I'm out there every Sunday now. It's my new spot. I pull up, break out the laptop, get more work done in a 2-hour period than I do most of the week. Excuse me. Great Wi-Fi connection. No distractions. Gluten-free options at the on the food menu. And I get a croissant with a croissant with ham and cheese. Get my coffee, and I'm off to the races. 5406 River Oaks Boulevard, River Oaks, Texas. Get them on online at boulevardbrew.com. Big breath for this one. Eaton Data Solutions. We work to have relationships with vendor partners who specialize in different methods of vulnerability detection and management so that we can offer enterprise tools and solutions to small and medium-sized companies. Find them online at eatondatasolutions.com. I'm going to have to talk to Richard about that. That's what it says on his internet site, and I'm like, man, I read that off, and I don't really know what it means. I do, because I know what the company does. Basically, Richard has worked for a very long time for Fortune 500 businesses, managing and detecting and offsetting the risk for cyber theft. These guys will somehow, through some sort of magic, get into your computer and steal all your stuff, and then they will try to sell you an encryption key. So here's what happens. You walk into work one day, you turn on your laptop or your computer, whatever, and you realize you can't get into any of your files. Years of data, payroll, taxes, everything, all your files, they're just locked up. And then you get an email, text message, phone call from somebody saying, hey, I can help you with that. I just need this much money because that's how much I charge for my services, and I'll give you the password. So you don't have a choice. You pay them. They give you the encryption key. Half the time that encryption key is going to work. Half the time it's not. If you pay these guys, they know that you're one of those people that they can trust to pay you or pay them. So they'll do it again. Get ahead of this. Richard at Eaton Data Solutions, he can bring his guys in there, identify for you where you're at risk, and then make sure that you're protected. And I know this sounds like a big Fortune 500 problem for like larger businesses, but what Richard identified over his years working for these large companies is he realized or was exposed to the fact that small and medium-sized businesses are now at risk of this. And to me, that's terrifying. But they can take care of it. So hit them up. EatonDataSolutions.com, another local partner here, a small business, and doing greater good for the community. Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. Roofing Solutions can help you with all of your residential and commercial roofing needs. Give them a call at 817-882-6520. They do all of it. Tile, slate roof, metal, whatever it is, they got you covered. RoofingSolutionsHouck.com. Mention that you heard about it on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and they will give you a free roofing. Jesus, he'll kill me. He'll give you 50% off a roofing tune-up, which I think comes out to like $250. But they get up there, they reseal all your pipe jacks, they'll identify any points of moisture entry and any damage whatsoever. So, excellent option, especially in these North Texas homes that brutal heat, high winds, tornadoes, hell, all the bad stuff. If you got a roof in North Texas, you need to be getting this done at least once every couple of years, if not yearly. So, give them a try. 817-882-6520. Let's see. We are missing some stuff here. Where is everything? All right, McFly's Pub. 1980s Back to the Future themed pub right here outside the East Gate for the military base. You're going to want to check this out. Rad little spot for live music. They've always got something cool going on. In fact, December 14th, I want to get into this in just a moment, we've got our Christmas party. Our after party is going to happen there. December 14th, but December 14th at, I think, 8 o'clock, they have, I don't even feel comfortable saying this, but apparently this is what you call it. It's midget wrestling. And I could not be more intrigued. So anyway, we're going to do our after party there at McFly's, but you don't have to take part in the wrestling. That's going to happen just off campus, just neighboring. They've got a little area there. So on the other side of the fence, they'll have the wrestling. And tickets are $25 if you go online and get them right now. For more details, go to Instagram, look up McFly's Pub, and then from there you should be able to navigate to find the tickets for the December 14th wrestling. I'm just going to call it wrestling. So still, after having said it probably a dozen times now, still don't feel totally comfortable saying that word. So anyway, I'm sure it's fine. These guys, the guys that act, the guys that perform, the athletes, if you will, they own the whole program. So if they're comfortable putting it on a flyer, I guess it's okay, right? Sure. Okay, moving on. That's it for now on the sponsors. Guys and gals, we are been preaching this for years. Keep Fort Worth dollars in Fort Worth pockets. Shop locally. There's lots of great options for anything you might need as far as things you might buy. And it's on our website, fortworthroots.com. Hit that Trusted Sponsors tab. It'll take you right to everybody's prospective websites so that you can do some local shopping. Hoppin', this new place, is really excited to meet you for the first time. So make sure you stop by there. Here's a list of events from the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, tomorrow, this Wednesday, the 27th, they've got a big old Thanksgiving Eve party. They're going to have s'mores around their fire pit, drink specials, things like that. They've got music bingo that kicks off at 6 o'clock. Excuse me. We're going to have Mama Lou Tamales out there. I believe she's showing up at 5. She's going to be there from 5 to 9. If you've never had Mama Lou's Tamales, you do not know what you're missing out on. It's amazing. And something that she's been pushing hard for is, hey, everybody, it's your last chance to get tamales before Thanksgiving, right? And your family will thank you. It'll be your favorite item on the table this year. So anyway, Mama Lou's Tamales will be out there. And then we are launching Cockpit Comedies once a week, Wednesday night comedy show. And it's going to be a barn burner. We're going to have a lot of great people out there. And then it opens up to a open mic situation right after the show. And we're going to have the opportunity for a number of local comedians to get up there and try their new material. So That's a big thing. Our Christmas party, December 14th. We're doing it at Hoppin'. This is kind of the new place for now as we move into the last part of 2024. Myself, Richard Keller from Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations, Jeff Zero from Jeff Zero and his own private universe. We're going to have 2 bands on stage for you. Last year, if you made it out to this, you remember we had a great little Christmas party here at the studio. The studio is not really, it's not cutting it these days. We're having some plumbing issues. So we decided to move this year's Fort Worth Roots Christmas party to Hoppin'. That's why we did that. But Richard Keller wanted to jump on that bandwagon. Every year we help each other out with our Christmas parties. And so this year we're just doing them together for funsies. It's going to be great. We want you to come out. We want you to spend some time with us, take some pictures, and just do a whole Christmas party camaraderie thing. Stuff like this is really special to me because I get to see my friends, and there's no agenda. It's just hanging out and having fun. We're going to have a potluck situation, so if you want to bring some food, let me know what you're going to have, and that way we know not to double up on that. But we are going to be bringing some food out there, and it's still open to the public, but it's going to be our day, December 14th at Hoppin', starting at 2 o'clock, going until 6, and then we'll do our after party out there at McFly's Pub. And you can buy a ticket for the midget wrestling if you like, or just hang out with us. Either way, all good. So the big announcement, and if you've been listening to the show for a while, I don't like talking about stuff until it is a done deal. Well, we came to an agreement with Dan and Whit over there at McFly's Pub. We are going to start doing live studio audience episodes out there at McFly's Pub. And that's going to be the second week of January when we start this off. So 2 things. 1, I would love for you to come out there and be a part of that. We're going to do it on Tuesdays. And that's going to be, I think we decided on 5 to 7. Yeah, that's right. 5 to 7, we're going to do the live studio audience recording with a new guest every week. And then right after that is Tommy Luke and Dippy Dog's open mic night. So Tuesdays are going to be fun. And, if you're a podcaster, if you're just somebody that's looking for something to do and hang out with great people, or if you're a music enthusiast, this is going to be a great evening, early evening too. Get in there, have some fun, and then get out of there. You're home by 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I like doing stuff early because my bedtime is 9 o'clock. I'm in trouble after 9. I can lay on the couch and watch some half-ass TV show until about 10:30 or so. But yeah, I really start winding down about 9. So anyway, like to do things early with you. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for keeping it going. Fort Worth Roots is growing so fast, and it's because you guys have been incredible supporters and really been there for me and the brand. And because of you, I'm able to continue to push forward and do more cool stuff. We are ramping up for the 2025 music series, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to put 3 bands on stage each month. I decided at the end of this last music series, after seeing the wild, amazing turnout that we had at Cicada, it's like, okay, Andrew, are you paying attention? We need to do 3 bands at the same time on one stage every time we do this. So I listened, and that's what we're going to do moving forward. So starting in March, moving through October, there will be 3 local bands on a stage every month at a different location around town. And the scope of Fort Worth Roots remains the same. Support small businesses and provide our artists with an additional stage. So thank you for making that possible. We appreciate it. And would love to hear from you guys. You can always, anytime you want, pick up the phone and call us. Tell us a news story. Tell us an event that's coming up that you want to make sure that the people of Fort Worth know about. Let us know what you think about the show. Anything and everything. 817-988-1292. And just to put your mind at ease, if you call me to leave a voicemail, and in the middle of that voicemail you go, hold on a minute, wait, let me start over. I'll edit that out. I can cut that out. I can do that for you. I'm going to make you sound smart. So if you're nervous about that, please don't be. You can also, in the middle of a recording, if you're on the phone with me, you could say something like, "Okay, I'm going to call you back. Don't use that. Let me start over." Whatever, however you want to do it. I'm here for it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. We'll have another one ready for you next week. We release these episodes on Monday. I know it's a Tuesday now, but it has been lively around here at the Fort Worth Roots office. So, all right. I guess that's it. I will see you Monday without fail for the morning show. What am I talking about? I'm going to talk to you tomorrow because you're going to be at the comedy show. But we also will have the morning show. 5 episodes a week, y'all. I'm okay. Seriously, I'm okay. All right. Thank y'all for listening. See you tomorrow. Let's try that again.